Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be starting the 4-valve swap Mustang for the first time. So let's get into today's video. Alright, so before we get to actually cranking this thing up, there's a few things that I had to go through to get this thing right. The spark plugs are definitely one of them, because I did start it off camera to make sure everything was working fine, and it pretty much is for the most part. It just desperately needs to tune, and the exhaust needs to be welded up properly. I have some exhaust clamps on it with like some of that exhaust gasket paper stuff, and it's still leaking a bit, but it's working as fine as it is. I just don't want to drive it like that. I'll probably drive it from here to the muffler house like this and get it welded up properly and then start to drive on it. But for right now, it does start, it does idle, and this thing is smooth. No smoke, no stumbling, no like hunting for idle, anything like that. It definitely seems like all my hard work has paid off, and it's definitely, like I said, not smoking anymore. That was the biggest issue we had before, was that even though it was running good, it was smoking, and I found out it was one cylinder on one side and one cylinder on the next. That was actually just pissing the oil out the back and killing that spark plug, and also just sending oil where it doesn't need to be. That's most of the things that I had to actually deal with. Before getting this thing running. I have no oil leaks, I have no coolant leaks, and I got a brand new dipstick for it from Locar. I think that's how you say it, Locar, but I got it off Amazon. It's really good dipstick, and it's a flexible one, so it can go in between any header. Oil levels are good, coolant levels are good, no leaks on anything, and this thing is running. So let me stop talking so much and let me give you guys a listen to how this thing is running. Alright guys, so as you guys have just seen, this thing is running, and it's running absolutely beautifully. I have two issues, actually I believe it's three of them. The issues that I'm having is this alternator was bad from, I had this motor came out of, well, not the motor, but these heads, this alternator, a lot of these supporting parts for this swap came from my 2003 Mercury Marauder, and this alternator was giving me issues from then. It seems like you have to rev the motor for some reason for it to start charging, but I'm gonna actually be swapping this out with a 96 Cobra alternator that is not controlled by the ECU. It just needs one key on power source and it'll charge the battery. So that's what I'm going to switch to. We're going to get this exhaust welded up, and then we need to get this thing tuned as soon as possible. It runs very good, idles very good with this MAF. and these injectors. But this MAF and injectors is for the stock 2003 Mustang GT, and I need to put the factory 24-pound injectors and the factory MAF for those injectors back in here and get this thing tuned. So for right now, if you try to rev it, it'll like break up a bit, but if you unplug the O2 sensors in the MAF, it'll rev to the moon. But I don't want to do that. I want to break this thing in properly. So as soon as we get the alternator situated and we get the exhaust situated, we're going to be contacting a tuner so we can remote tune this thing back and forth. So hopefully we can get that done sooner than later, and we can get this thing on the road, beating the brakes off it. Oh, the other issue is my release bearing. If you hear it, it makes like that whining up. It makes that noise. When you push the clutch in, it completely goes away. When I first started up, I was sweating bullets thinking that my motor was like knocking or making that noise, but it's just a release bearing. As soon as you push the clutch in, it goes away. But to say the least, it's definitely been an extremely long road to get this car to where it is now. So I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to do anything that's going to harm this motor, so we're going to do everything right from now on, and we're going to do it from the start instead of trying to cheap out on it. So brand new main bearings, brand new connecting rod bearings, brand new piston rings, and as you can see, it's not smoking anymore. And I am extremely excited, even though I probably don't sound like it. I'm extremely tired as well, but it's been such a long time to get here, and it almost like makes me really emotional knowing that we finally got it right. Nothing sucks more than when you're doing something and you got to keep pulling the motor back out or keep taking something apart, or it's definitely a downer, but moments like this make it so much more worthwhile. So thank you guys so much for the support, for the lengthy period of time that it took me to actually swap this motor in here properly, and we're still not done yet, but we're gonna get it done. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and always remember, don't drift without your dreams, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.